Hello everyone, this is Super Comic Girl. I am back with another video. So if you like this video, which I hope you do, yeah, so hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Sometimes it is the beginning, sometimes it is the end. It depends on what comes out of my mouth at any given moment. So I am going to be doing a series of videos about everyone's favorite DC and Marvel characters. Not all the time, but I will be doing them probably 2 or 3 times a month because I have nothing better to do. So today's video is going to be about the character known as Black Mary, or Mary Broomfield, something like that. Broomfield. Okay, so I kind of went on Young Justice's wiki to kind of get an overview of the character that I had never ever heard of in my life, and I have been reading comics for a long time. Took a huge break from comics for a long time, came back to reading them recently, the last close to 2 months, and I thought this character was really interesting. I knew about Black Adam. Black Adam was a person that was chosen by the Wizard to defend Earth. He ends up becoming evil, and voila, he ends up being either imprisoned in something or banished into space. So I was first introduced to Black Adam by the DC animated movie The Return of Black Adam, when Billy Batson received his powers, and it's very different than, you know, the live action movie, which I absolutely love the live action movie. They did a much better job on Shazam than they did on some of the other characters, and thankfully I'm not the only one who thinks that, and everything. So Black Mary. Black Mary is literally the same as Black Adam. She is evil. She wants to destroy things. She is absolutely infected, and not infected, but I should say, she's absolutely just obsessed with power. And this what makes her going from Sargent Marvel to Black Mary. She actually adopts the name Black Mary because she's Mary and she's dark, and Black Mary. So she used to be known as Sargent Marvel, and so in the live action movie, we actually have a woman, or a young woman, named Mary. And she is I believe she is the oldest of all of Billy Batson's adopted siblings. I might be wrong. Her adopted brother might be a little older than her, or older than her. I'm not exactly sure. But they all literally go to the same school and all that type of jazz. Kind of reminds me of my old school in Koshkanong, where you enter the school as a little stink bug, and you left as a terror, depending on how messed up your home life was. So Billy Batson willingly gives some of his power to his siblings. And one of the people that he willingly gives a bit of his power to, I think it's 2/3 of his power to, is Mary. Meaning that he's not as powerful as he would have been if he himself alone had that power. Billy is not able to see inside the hearts of the people that he's given these powers to. So he has no idea that Mary, on a very subconscious level, desires power, craves it, and of course wants it. So when she becomes basically Shazam or Sargent Marvel, the unknown desire for power manifests. And what ends up happening is she's so in love with being able to fly and having strength and all that jazz that she becomes more and more dependent on it, to the point where she is always in her transformed state. She totally abandons her Mary persona. So Freddie and Billy convince her to give up the powers, even though they can't take it away from her. If they could, they probably would have. She agrees to relinquish these abilities, though she still has them, and the temptation to become Sergeant Marvel is very, very strong. So one of the things that she's able to do is draw energy from things around her, most importantly from people, and even from Clarion the Witch Boy got some of his chaos abilities drained from him by Mary, showing that she absolutely could not defeat anything without more and more power. So it also proves that Mary is not actually naturally a magical or practitioner of magic. She gets her magic, or she gets her power from what Billy willingly gave her. So what ends up happening is they have this big old debate, and basically Zatanna calls Mary out on her shit. She says, "You lost power. You tell us you're not going to use it, then you relapse," and all this type of stuff. So basically Mary is denied the right to be a vessel for Dr. Fate. This decision to not allow Mary to become Dr. Fate, or partly Dr. Fate, was, at the time, Zatanna saw this as, okay, we are going to keep her from accessing a huge amount of power. Because we know that she's an addict. She likes the power. She's drawn to power. In fact, Blood has... the Stranger, they call him the Stranger. The Stranger has 3 magical objects, and Mary is drawn to all of them. These objects are really, really dangerous, but Mary sees her addiction right in front of her. Objects that have what she craves, and that is power. So what ends up happening, so Black Mary was introduced at the end of season 4, and there is a post-credit scene where we see her as Black Mary. Just like Black Adam, she is not a person that you should ignore. She will hurt you. She is one of Darkseid's Furies. Now, the Furies in DC Comics are these henchwomen of Granny Goodness, whose job is to maim, to kill, to do all the stuff at Granny Goodness's command. In the I think it's the second season of Harley Quinn, Harley becomes the lead, basically she is the one who orders the Furies. She's also commander of the Paladins, which of course she gives up, of her own free will, because this is not who she wants to be, and she's already come to the decision that she knows exactly who she wants to be, and so she relinquishes command and control of the Furies and the Paladins, and all that. This is all about choice. So Harley Quinn chooses to be an anti-hero and not a villain, after she finds basically out the Joker never did love her. And for Mary, her decision to become a Fury along with Kara Zor-El. Now, Kara Zor-El, I will be doing a video about her because she is a damn interesting character, and I kind of want to do a full, giant video about her because she happens to be one of my favorite members of the super family. So back to Mary. So basically, this voice inside of her head, which is actually Granny Goodness, convinces her to say the word Shazam. She turns into Shazam. Now, what does this mean for Young Justice if we get a season 5? Now, there's rumor we're not going to get a season 5, which sucks because this is the worst time to introduce a new character or a character that's established in comics and not give her any kind of airtime. So, we probably are going to see the end result of Zatanna's what she thought was a good idea at the time. And basically, Black Mary has it in for Zatanna, mainly for Zatanna, but I also think for the 4 members of the team that rotate. So Dr. Fate is also going to have issues with her because she is full-on Black Mary. Now, Black Mary, just like Black Adam, craves power. She also, like Adam, doesn't think what she's doing is wrong. Whoa, there's nothing wrong with my vision of how I want the world to be. She has no problem with inflicting pain on other people. You don't become a member of Darkseid's Furies by being all lovey-dovey-wovey. You kill people, you maim people, you oversee the subjugation of hundreds of worlds by Darkseid. You do not flinch even though you know it's morally wrong. So Mary is fully invested in power. She has gotten what she has wanted all her life, and that is to finally be a part of a team that recognizes that she's fucking awesome, even though we all know that she's not. So Black Mary is probably going to be Young Justice's most dangerous adversary, mainly because she holds a grudge against them, and also the fact is that she is just plain dangerous. We don't know what Granny Goodness taught her when she was over in Darkseid. We don't know. We don't know if Granny Goodness taught her additional destructive forms of magic, furtherly corrupting her soul. We don't know. Unlike Black Adam, who was or is thousands of years old, Black Mary is not thousands of years old. So she can say the word Shazam and she will not disintegrate into dust. And the only reason in the animated movie that Black Adam disintegrated was because he had stayed in his transformed form for so long that when he became human again, aging got hold of him and, he lost the battle with time. But yeah, so Mary has the added benefit of she can go back into her human state and she can basically just walk around and nobody knows that she is evil or that she's going to bring about their destruction. She can have a talk with Zatanna, even though she wants to slit her throat. And, will Zatanna Bill pick up that Mary or Black Mary is a Fury? I don't know. I really, really would love to see a season 5 because when you go and you put a character in front of me that I've never seen before, please do not cancel the show so I can see exactly how destructive and how evil that Mary is. Now, outside of the Young Justice world, Mary has come back to comic books as her own solo person. She's not infected or she's not lusting for power. She actually is lusting after a normal life. So she doesn't say Shazam because she wants to be a normal person. She got adopted by another family and she's their permanent daughter and all that type of stuff. So she lives a very normal life and she likes that. And she doesn't want to be a superhero anymore, but in the comics, in this run, she is unfortunately having to come back as Shazam. So this Mary is not like the Mary in Young Justice. She's not evil. She's not turned over to the dark side. But the idea of Black Mary basically being another Black Adam, I think is really interesting because it does show that these powers, while the person who originally had them had good intentions, power has a very bad habit of warping certain people. Some people will take power and they'll use it for the benefit of other people. You see this in people that are known as wise rulers, like was it that one ruler that had the step pyramid, Djoser. He used his power for the benefit of his people. You have people like King Arthur that used his power for the benefit of his people. He did not believe that he was better than everyone else because he was a king. So, but you also have people that use power for nefarious reasons and all that type of stuff. So, it all depends. Power can enable you to do great things, and power can also cause you to do bad things. In the case of Billy Baxton, he understood the responsibilities of being Shazam. He was already for the little man. He was already a person who believed that, that it was important to protect people, and just having the power of Shazam allowed him to do this, and allowed him to basically feel like he was part of something bigger. With Mary in Young Justice, she is corrupted. She is power hungry. She is evil. As Black Mary, she feels like that she's been left out of things. She feels like that she's been disrespected, and that allows her to become fully corrupted and allow her to join the Furies. But yeah, so Mary is a very kind of character. Something else I did not mention. Prior to DC revamping their characters, Mary and Billy were siblings. So when they revamped it, that tie was cut. But yeah. But back to what I was saying. So Mary in the newer hero named Shazam, who wants to be as far away from being a superhero as possible until Billy is basically willingly encases herself into the Rock of Eternity, which causes her to want to no longer be a superhero. The Mary of Young Justice, they're two separate characters, in my own opinion. We will see. I really would like to see in the next Shazam movie that's been delayed a bit because they're doing a bunch of retakes, because that was the call from high up, that they apparently Shazam was good, but they wanted to make it bigger and better, and basically it's better than the original. I really would like to see where they're going to take Mary. Is she going to go down the path like she does in Young Justice, where she becomes Black Mary? Or is she going down a different path where she's going to be like her adopted brother and fighting for what's right and good in the world? I will say that Mary does appear in DC versus Vampire All-Out War. She apparently... I don't know if the powers of Shazam have left Billy and gone into her fully. Don't know. But she is... I don't know about the other ones, but I think as far as I know of, she is the only member of the Shazam family that still has her powers, that is not a vampire. So we are going to find out what happens with that as well. I thought it was really great they put Mary in DC versus Vampire All-Out War. It's nice to see that she's not a vampire. But yeah, we'll just see what happens. This is going to be a really interesting thing. But if we do get a season 5 of Young Justice, I'm definitely hooked on to seeing Black Mary and her fighting the Young Justice, and might even fight the Justice League, because you cannot become Black Mary or Black anything and not get Shazam's attention. Because I have a funny feeling if we get a season 5 of Young Justice, that Billy is going to have to come into personal battle with Black Mary, who has basically turned into another version of Black Adam, and it's just going to bring him a lot of issues. Like, oh my lord, I gave power to somebody who is basically a female version of Black Adam. So I'm really pumped up about that. But I think I read or heard someone that Black Mary has already appeared in comics. I don't know what issue that she first appeared, but I am really pumped up about the possibility that Billy Batson is going to have to battle Black Mary as Shazam and all that. So yeah. So I probably have forgotten a bunch of stuff about Black Mary. I'm actually going to Google and see when she first appeared in comics. Because I read that she appeared in comics. But yeah, so I'm going to let you guys go. My next one I'm going to be doing is going to switch over to the Marvel Universe. And that is going to be about Spider-Man. I know a lot of people have done videos about Spider-Man, but I want to do my own video about Spider-Man and all that type of stuff. So, I am going to see you guys around. Until next time, nerds, read on. Bye.